Thank you guys so much. I just want to take about 2 seconds here to just talk about that song and how that song came to be. It could have never came without Our Lady and the Rosary. When I was 16 years old, it was the first time that I ever went to confession. And the priest told me to pray the Rosary every day. So I began to do that. At 16, I'd go down in my room and just start to pray the Rosary. And it's through the Rosary and it's through Mary that I came to know Jesus. And I want to just encourage you. One of the things that our band tries to do is just encourage the prayer of the Rosary. You know, when Our Lady, she appeared at Fatima in 1917 to those 3 young children, and she asked them all to pray 1 Rosary a day for the conversion of the world. So I want to encourage you guys to pray the Rosary. And that song, if you listen to it, it goes through a lot of the different mysteries of the Rosary. And in that, Mary is saying always to us to come back to Jesus, to come hold my son. Whenever we receive communion, she's there with us. She's just saying, come hold my son. No matter where you've been or what you've done, go to confession. Come hold my son. So I want to encourage you guys to pray the Rosary. I want to tell you how I go about praying the Rosary. When I pray the Rosary, because sometimes people can struggle with it. First off, we know that there's nothing wrong with praying the Rosary. It's praying Scripture. Luke 1:26, Hail Mary, full of grace. There's nothing wrong with praying Scripture. If I were to say, like, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. What a beautiful prayer that is. It's the same thing with the Hail Mary, right from Scripture. But it's the moment when everybody's lives in here, even though we weren't alive, but the history was completely changed. It's that moment when God is made man. And a humble mother says yes. So there's nothing wrong with praying the Rosary. It's scriptural. It's all there. So when I pray the Rosary, I ask the question, how did it feel? If I'm praying the Sorrowful Mysteries, what we just meditated on, last week, I ask the question, Jesus, how did it feel? That first Sorrowful Mystery, Jesus' agony in the garden. He's abandoned by his friends, alone in the garden. And he sweats blood and the anguish. How did that feel, Jesus? Is 10 Hail Marys enough to think about that? In the second Sorrowful Mystery, Jesus is scourged at the pillar. He's whipped and beaten for us. St. Faustina says that when Jesus appeared to her, he said that the reason why he subjected himself to that scourging was because of sins of the flesh, sexual sins. The times when we're not pure with our bodies and chaste with who we are and with others. And at Fatima, our Blessed Mother said that souls fall into hell like snowflakes because of sins of the flesh, because there's no one to pray for them. So Jesus, that scourging, how did that feel? Is 10 Hail Marys enough to think about that? I know I need those 10. And the third Sorrowful Mystery, Jesus is crowned with thorns. How did that feel, Jesus? And the fourth Sorrowful Mystery, Jesus carries his cross to Calvary. He falls 3 times because he doesn't want to lose a single one of us. He doesn't want to lose a single soul in this room, or our mothers, our fathers, our brothers and sisters. He falls those 3 times and he gets back up. Wherever we're at, don't be afraid to get back up. Jesus is there. The fourth Sorrowful Mystery, Jesus carries his cross. Is 10 Hail Marys enough to think about that? Just a little every day. So powerful in our lives. I know I can get so carried away and busy, and it's so important we just come back to the first commandment. Put God above everything else. And how we spend our time, God has to be above everything else. God is of no importance unless he is of supreme importance. God is of no importance unless he is of supreme importance in our lives. God's not going to play second place. He's not going to be second fiddle. He wants to be number one in our lives. The fifth sorrowful mystery, Jesus dies on the cross. He stretches out his hands for us out of love for us. I know it can be hard to find time to pray, but it's especially in college, but it's not about finding time. It's about making the time. If we go at an approach of, I'm going to find the time to pray, we're never going to find it. It's about making the time. Jesus is on that cross. He says, I thirst for you. I thirst for your soul. Tonight, he's thirsting for us here. That we would go out into this city of Chicago and be light to all these people here. And it only takes one of us. One of us can change this city. I truly believe that. Someone that's completely dedicated to him. That he is their number one. We could get so caught up with studies, relationships, girlfriends, boyfriends, and we put him second. The fifth sorrowful mystery, Jesus dies on the cross. And his mother is there. And she's always there with us. She stands at the foot of your cross too. Is 10 Hail Marys enough to think about that? We're in the time of Easter, and we just celebrate what God has done for us and give him glory. But it's only through the cross that we have this glory. What a beautiful blessing the cross is. It's our number one joy.